That's right, it's time for Race Stands. Diamond Select Toys, Ghostbuster Figures Series 1. I did Winston last week. Now we're going to take a look at Dan Aykroyd. I saw reviews of him popping up left and right. I figure everybody was delving into him, wanted to do Winston first. But I'm not going to lie, he's definitely my favorite figure out of the two because the likeness is fantastic. And, personally, I've always liked Ray, then Venkman, then Zedmore, then Spangler. That's always been my personal preference. But I'm not going to lie, getting a Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray figure out of this is the big win-win. Now you can see here, all the hands that aren't gloved are already out because I already made the switch, but it's pretty much the same accessory pack that you get with Winston, with the difference being skin tone. That's literally the only difference. Oh, and he gets the goggles, obviously. Now here you kind of get to see a better look at him with his gloves. I just think the glove look is the Ghostbuster look, and I think that the goggle look has always been Ray. I mean, you couldn't do this figure without giving him the goggles. That's for damn sure. Because, I mean, that's the iconic scene. Kind of wish he would have got a little cigarette for his mouth, but then again, obviously, they're not going to do that these days. It's a kid's figure, or it's supposed to be for kids. Obviously, adults are collecting them, but obviously, I always love the fact that he chain-smoked. He always chain-smoked in that movie. Maybe I'll just do my own, like, custom one and put it there. And here I'm going to give you a little spin around. I don't do this with many of my reviews with my figures, but the Proton Pack obviously means you need to see all sides of him. Now, one of the things I mentioned in my last review, and I kind of want to, mention it again here, is just how well done, like, the whole Proton Pack, the assembly of it actually is on the figure. Mine's a little bit more loose on my Ray figure than my Winston one. Not sure why that is. Maybe it's because I've played with him a little bit more. Here you can see he has the same specklage that you had with the Winston jumpsuit, the same kind of speckling on the khaki. I feel like he has a little bit more darker spots, but overall, just like I said before with the Winston figure, great attention to detail, great realism. Now here you see his goggles, a little bit closer look there. Now they're not the same tone of green, but who cares? They made it match the Proton Pack green, so I imagine that was probably easier for processing all of them. And then, just like I mentioned last time, I love that Ghostbuster patch. I kind of, maybe they could have done a little bit more, made it look like it was actually embroidered or something. But, I mean, who cares? It's awesome. It's the Ghostbuster symbol on the figure. Here you get that closer look at the Proton Pack. If you didn't watch my last review, look at the detail, man. They got these little stickers on them. I'm sure that if you got close enough, they probably read. I haven't really looked too hard on it. And then here to the side, you can see where the trap goes. Now, he does not come with the trap. The trap came with Winston, but I'm going to show you how it hooks to him as well. Now, I didn't show in the last one how it came in the packaging. Some people kind of asked me about that. So here you can see the way the hands came in the packaging. Up there is where the goggles and the walkie-talkies actually went. The hands are the exact same ones that Winston has. Like I said before, it's just the difference of skin tone. However, to correct my last review, the glove set actually comes with a right and a left and another right and a left. It's not like the ungloved hands. So you actually have two sets of gloved hands, and then you have the four right hands with the extra one. There's the Proton Stream, just like the Winston one. This one actually did start to unravel on me, which was interesting. Take off the goggles and you get Dan Aykroyd. That looks just like Dan Aykroyd. You can't, there's no denying that. That's Danny. Full articulation with the head, just like any other figure. It doesn't matter which way you put him, he looks like Dan Aykroyd. Some figures you have to get the right angle. Nope, that's just Dan through and through. Same as the other figure, you got full articulation in the arms that rolls around. The elbows bend. Don't want to hyperextend them, but they bend in and out. They twist back and forth. And obviously the pad moves, like I've said before. It's very soft. You could probably take it off. I don't want to take it off on my figures. Any chance I have to not loosen them up, and I'll take it. Now here the hand bends back and forth this way. It's got that joint on it. If you watch my other review, you can see each hand usually has a different joint on it. One goes one way, one goes the other way, giving a lot of articulation to holding the Proton Stream, Proton wand, which is, important whenever you're posing them so they don't fall over. The other arm, obviously, bends the same way. You got the same kind of elbow pad that kind of rolls around, and the hand has the same hinge on it. You want a different hinge? Get the different hand. It goes up and down the other way. Here you got the walkie-talkie. The accessory comes out, goes right back in. pretty easy. This one sticks a little bit more. I kind of like that so that you don't have to worry about the fact that it would get really loose and you'd lose it. Earlier I had mentioned that the Proton Pack is looser on my Rey figure than my Winston figure. This is also true with the belt. Not sure if that's just on mine, if it's like all of them, but it definitely moves around a little bit more. The back's kind of bowed. Hasn't really been a problem yet. Don't know if it will be, but just saying. Here's the trap. Does not come with Rey. I repeat, does not come with Rey. It comes with Winston. But if you look at this little cut-in piece right here, you'll see that Rey has it on his belt, and it fits right there. So it snaps right on. It's interchangeable. I imagine it's going to be able to be used with Venkman and Spengler as well. So just kind of cool that you can take photos and do other things with it, and it kind of works with the other characters as well. And here on the back, you can see it's seamless. Not in the same position as on Winston's belt. Winston's, I believe, is on the other side, but still pretty cool. Taking a closer look at the goggles, you can see, like I said earlier, they're not the dark green from the movie, but still, they're a pretty cool sculpt. The back piece is rubber. It's really soft. It's really loose. And it's connected with a rubber piece, too. There's no, like, plastic on it or anything. The whole piece is just made like that. If you look down inside, nothing special, just like, you know, typical mold. The only thing that I worry about is whether or not they're going to snap one day when I'm putting them on. Because as you can see right now, I'll show you. When you go to put them on, you have to stretch them over top of his hair. Because you got that awesome classic Dan Aykroyd cut hair from the 80s. And the tension on this side, I worry eventually might cause snappage. But as of right now, it goes on pretty well. You don't want that. So you got to push it down in the back right there. But once you work with it a little bit, and after you do it a couple times, you'll notice it goes flush, not too much, and you get that look right from the movies. And if you want to snap it down, put it on the face first, kind of cozy it on there, and then work it on the back. And you can see, look at that. Something I want to touch base on from the first review and follow up with is where the Proton Wand goes. Now, I had mentioned that I really wish it would have went on this side, where it's supposed to go, and not over here where I had hung it in my last video. It definitely doesn't go there. It goes on this other side. There's actually a place for it. I missed it. I hadn't looked for it yet. I hadn't really played with the figure. But this is the movie likeness. It's supposed to go on this side. The only problem is it doesn't really hook the right way. So I had to kind of makeshift my own way of getting it in there. But look, it looks like it goes on there. It looks like it's supposed to. We'll kind of see what you think about the piece when we take a closer look at it in just a second here. But down here you can see this is where I've hooked mine. You can kind of put it in the back plate of the Proton Pack, and that keeps it in place and it'll keep it from popping. And it'll still look just like it does in the movie. It'll still look like it's supposed to hang there, but you're using the actual piece of the back right there. See? It pops right out, and that's what I'm talking about. The piece they made for it doesn't quite work properly. Here you can see on the sides, and take a closer look, there's a piece that they've actually molded out, and it sticks out from there. And here's a better look. I'll use the Proton stream for it. There's this little piece right here. It's supposed to actually go in the side of the wand. And here, you can see in the wand, there's actually a little piece carved out for that. So that piece is supposed to fit over top of this piece back here. However, it doesn't actually latch. This piece doesn't actually fit on that completely. It doesn't matter how you try to work it. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't. Now, you could try to cut it. You could try to work it with an X-Acto knife. I'm not going to try to do that. Instead, I'm going to do this fix right here that I'm going to show you. You take the back piece, you can see the little piece of air in between. So you can see the space in between the Proton Pack. If you take this and you just kind of pop it down on the bottom, there you go. It'll stick. You might have to do it a couple times to get it so it actually works for you. It took me a couple times, but you'll get it. Because this is how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to look just like this, so that when it's resting, they can use their hands for other things. They shouldn't constantly have to have it out of the Proton Pack and in their hands. You're supposed to be able to hold the walkie, recreate the scenes from the movie. So it's important to kind of get it down where this thing goes and to be able to store it, especially for the collectors that want it to be accurate. Now here, I wanted to show you a closer look. See? The back plate, this guy out here, he doesn't really want to stick. Can't really get them right here. Boom. Nailed it. Now, it's not always that easy. Like I said, it took me a couple times to get it. But you put it right in between there. If you hold it like this, you can't even tell that it's not in the right place. Unless you really know what the right place is, you can't tell that it's not in the right place. And it looks movie accurate. So, unlike my last review, it goes on this side, not that side. It is movie accurate. They did put the places there. I stand corrected. But there you have it. Diamond Select Toys, Ray Stantz Ghostbuster figure. I did Winston last week, so I didn't want to repeat a lot of the same stuff since they do have a lot of the same accessories. So if there's anything I missed, feel free to ask me. Feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, go grab these figures. I want to do Venkman. I want to do Spengler. I want to, collect the entire line. You should want to collect the entire line. But that's not going to happen if you don't go out there and support the figures. So the ones in January, they're going to have diorama pieces with them. Collect all of them, and you can create the rooftop scene. So go out there, get the figures, tell your friends about them, get them as gifts, because we need the support. We need this line. We need it.